Can you sum up, I suppose, that game and also too the emotions in the shed after what unfolded?
Well, the emotions in the shed was probably more for Chevy being a debutant, and I thought he had a wonderful game, and the boys all love Chev, and the emotion in the change room is more for Chev, and it's but for us, like we played well tonight. We lose that game over the last 12, 18 months. I won't go into what I spoke to the players about, what I was happy about in regards to our game, but I just thought that the whole performance for us was pretty professional from a discipline point of view, and we didn't get frustrated because there's a lot of opportunity out there tonight where we could have got really frustrated and lost our opportunity of staying on process.
What do you put that down to over the last 12 months? Had it been 12 months ago, it would have been a different story. What do you put that down to within?
Where frustration would have turned into panic, and then when you play panic football, all your processes go out the window. We know what our processes are. And it's just not a beautiful word being used by a coach. We've actually understood our scenarios and processes, and they didn't get frustrated with the style of game tonight.
How much does that help players moving forward in other situations to reflect and learn from being in a situation like that, knowing that they are confident and capable of being able to?
Well, it helps this whole squad unbelievably so because we're so young. Some of those boys out there tonight have played 1 game to 6 games. Shill's played 13 games, I think. So, you know, those types of games and the scenario you find yourself in under pressure, you can train it, but you don't ever get the quality of understanding and experience until you've got it there in the heat of the moment. And that game tonight will be a major learning curve from a positive point of view for the especially our younger boys and our senior boys such as Joe and Josh, Big Papa, Hardo, and the other senior boys. It was great how they stayed calm and stayed on task.
You described Chevy as being a very excited young man. How excited was he just there with all the boys in his family?
Well, he should be excited too. I had a beer with his father yesterday, and it'll be hard because Jamie, his father, all he was worried about, he said, I just hope he has a good performance. And you know, I said, mate, if he catches and passes and runs and tackles well, everything else will come off, and it does. You know, you stick to your fundamentals, do them well, and the big results come off those. And I understand what it would be like. I don't actually, but it'll be hard for a father and mum. But they'd be 2 very, very proud parents. They're so supportive. Kira and Emma and Jamie, they're so supportive of Chevy, and I'm as happy for them as I am for Chevy because it's, you know, they're great. They're a great support mechanism for him, living away from home at such a young age.
It wasn't just the simple things that he did well, that charge down, that effort to, block the Kieran Ford attempt at the field goal.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just impressive.
He did a great job. And, you know, there was hard works on the back end of a game, and you're under fatigue, and for him to have the mindset to get in there at mark and knowing the fact that Kieran was going to be having a shot at field goal at some stage is, you know, that's been learnt from a young age.
Also, his good mate Ethan as well produced the run that sort of led to the winning field goal too.
Yeah, they're both footy players. No, Ethan, the way he was marked up on tonight, you know, it was good coaching by Des. Whitey, their defensive coach, is good coaching. Because they would have saw a lot of what we did well last week, and they nullified that tonight.
Joe, just going to ask, what was it like playing with Chevy out there, and particularly if you, like, your reflections on that charge, you know, to sort of swing the game your way?
Yeah, I love playing with competitors, and that's what he is. being a senior bloke and running back after a defensive set and seeing him kamikaze in the back, like he's played many narrow games, is huge. And then his effort to charge that ball down doesn't go unnoticed in our group, and love playing with him.
As a collective, how did you guys find a way to dig deep in Golden Point there?
Yeah, I think we've been working on it all off-season. I talked about it a lot, but we're making this our fortress. We got to get that gritty win. A win's a win. Like Stick said, 18 months ago we might not win that. So our mentality shifted, and I'm feeling good.
How do you think that mentality shifted? Like, what did you see within these last 18 months to see this like resolute within the group and the mindset?
I think the play, it's player-driven as well as stick-driven. So we keep each other accountable. We're keeping each other accountable to our standards, and we're driving that training. And when we have a bad sesh, Stick doesn't have to pull us up. The senior boys will jump in and pull us up. So I think that's the way we've grown as a club.
Ricky, Des was fairly critical of the refereeing. He said talked about a lopsided penalty count, 10-1 in, 6 against, and then reckons that the Chevy charge down was offside.
He's on another planet, mate. If he's critical of the 6 against and the penalties, he's on another planet. I just said he coached well. Him and Whitey coached well. But the way they cheated when they were standing there with hand on the ball, holding over the ball, the way they cheated on the ground. If we want to go back to last year, or the years we've had, no worries. We'll start wrestling and we'll start cheating up high too. The game's been going real good without that type of wrestle and ruck. I feel sorry for Casey. The way they were in her face all night, I feel sorry for Casey out there tonight. But she had to withstand a lot of pressure, and I can't believe we've lost the interpretation, because we were told at the start of the year, if you're going to be a repeat offender, you get sent. You have a look at the amount of repeat offenders, you have a look at the amount of extra seconds they got on the ground. That was what I actually spoke to I wasn't going to mention this, but that's what I spoke to the players about after the game. I was so proud of how they stuck to their processes with the football, because they could have got really frustrated tonight. We had a real good game last week where we controlled the actual ground with fast play the balls. You don't cheat to win a fast play the ball when you got the football. But if he thinks they got hard done by Casey tonight, he's on a completely different planet. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to be making sure I ring Jared tomorrow to find out who's right or wrong there. Because I thought Casey under pressure, she did a really good job tonight. We should have got another 10 or 12, 6 against. So if we're going to go back, the game's been a good spectacle this year at the start of the year. If we're going to go back, and I'll be asking Jared, if we're going to go back to that, what happened tonight? Fine. We'll do an extra wrestle session with Joshy Miller every week to get it. So I'll make that call. He won't, because he don't like it.
Yes. How's Zach?
I don't know the extent of the injury, but poor bugger's really upset. So I hope it's one of those injuries where we can rehab it. He did feel it pop out. I just hope it's one of those when we can rehab for 5 or 6 weeks and strap it and play. But he'll be a massive loss for us if we for the amount of time we do lose him.
Thanks so much.